Hi folks, Andrew here, Top Fitness Strategies presents. In this episode, we're going to go way back, 2011 to be precise. This is before there was a Top Fitness Strategies. This was when I was doing interviews with different, fitness pros from around the world. And it was actually called the interview series, the fitness edition. So I had different interview series going on. In this particular episode, I interviewed a gentleman by the name of IHIT Richards. He goes by IHIT Richards from Calisthenics Kingz. This was unique because at the time, even though he was very well known, the internet didn't come into prominence yet. The HIT was well known, but not as much as it is today. He is everywhere. And you talk about calisthenics, HIT's going to come into play big time. Bar athletes, they're called. And he's very knowledgeable and very fun guy. We had a great time. I can't give it justice. Now, I will tell you this, because of my lack of recording skills back then and lack of equipment, it does sound very tin canny. The interview does on my part, so forgive me for that. And it's not as polished as it should be, but the information is fantastic. Now, I'm also going to link to Calisthenics Kingz website. He has all kinds of stuff for sale. I'm going through it right now. He has Bootcamp Basics, calisthenics instructions. He has T-shirts. He has clothing. He has a book. He has programs. He has something called Chiseled in 30, which is a program you work out at home. It is fantastic. It's one of my 4 programs that I recommend. This is one of them. It's on there. And I have the DVDs, I should say. Pop them in and follow along with it. I would assume he has that in different formats as well now. But I will link to that in the show notes or the comments or however you want to look at it. But go there and do it. But I'll quit yapping here and get right to the interview. But I wanted to give you all the information up front just in case you wanted to get to it early. So here you go. Without further ado, this is from 2011, IHIT Richards from Calisthenics Kingz. Take it away.
Well, hello, everybody. Andrew Poletto back again for the interview series Fitness Edition. And we got something pretty cool today because this is something that I truly never experienced before. And after watching a lot of videos of this particular gentleman, I was like, wow, we need to get him on because this is exciting. And it's all about calisthenics and things of that sort, but I'll let him explain all that. But real quick, and this is a regular thing with the interviews of how I find folks to be on the interviews. Like I just said, I was scouring different parts of the internet, and I came across this gentleman. And talk about somebody who is ripped to shreds and has a body of a Greek Adonis. Is like, holy geez. And the more I read about him, the more I'm thinking, this guy is onto something. So I want to make sure we get him on here. So he goes by HIT, H-I-T. Last name is Richards. So I call him HIT Richards. And if it's different, I'm sure he will tell me exactly what it is afterwards. But he is from Manhattan, New York. Hometown is the Bronx at this point. And his parents are originally from Jamaica, West Indies, and he has a sister who is currently serving in the military. He has a true passion for fitness and an intense drive to succeed. He believes that drive in combination with dedication, determination, and discipline is the key to achieving success in fitness and in life. His current workouts consist strictly of calisthenics, which is natural body weight exercises and movement. He works his entire body, upper and lower, through such exercises with a proper range of motion while doing the exercises. This helps to increase the inner strength and muscle synastry. The key factors when he's training are mental focus and physical focus on form and the specific muscles he's training. He also pushes himself to achieve new personal fitness goals, which motivates him because he will not stop until the goal is met. He also enjoys playing football, baseball, and basketball. But I'd like to introduce my guest today, HIT.
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic. Now, am I saying that right? Is it HIT, or do you go by HIT Richards, or what do you folks usually call you?
Well, people usually call me HIT.
Okay.
It's an acronym for Hardcore Intense Trainer.
Hardcore Intense Trainer. Wow. Now I got to ask, is this something that you came up with, or the folks that you trained came up with and started calling you that?
Well, folks started, I'm a personal trainer, and all my clients, you know, I make sure I push them to achieve their goals, as any trainer should. And the stuff that I do is hardcore, so, you know, clients got used to it, and they would say I'm hardcore, so I kind of came up with the rest of it, and then I just cut it short for HIT, you know?
I love that. I like that. Now, before we go on, is something I did not mention in your bio, and I apologize for that, but I like to let the people know the type of person I'm speaking with, because as you know, and as I know doing this business, what I do, there's a lot of people out there that they take a class at a university and consider themselves a personal trainer. But you, from what I'm reading here, you hold about 13 international certifications for personal training. Is that correct, or do you hold more than that?
Actually, I'm up 15 now. 15 international certifications.
So, and folks that are listening right now that don't know what that means, it means this dude knows his stuff, basically, because you don't run into too many people that have 4 or 5 certifications, let alone 15. And these are not just the U.S. certifications for all those listening in the U.S. These are international certifications. So that means quite a bit. And obviously he knows what he's talking about upside down and inside out. So kudos to you for going through that, because I know that's a lot more than just burying your nose in a book and doing stuff. I know that much.
Yes.
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, you do strictly calisthenics. So I just want to start with the basics so the people who don't know exactly what that is. Can you explain what calisthenics are or is?
Calisthenics is a form of fitness where you use just your natural body weight as resistance. For an example, like doing pull-ups or push-ups, dips, or anything you use just your natural body weight as resistance. That's what calisthenics is.
Oh, this is all natural body weight. So obviously I know most people know, especially people listening right now, know what a push-up and a pull-up is, but it goes way beyond that, if I understand correctly. Calisthenics is obviously a lot more than just pull-ups and push-ups, and I'm sure we'll get into that in just a little bit. So before we do, so tell me, how did you get started with this kind of exercise routine? Or how did you get started at all in exercise?
Well, actually, you know, growing up, I was always athletic, playing sports, and there were a few older guys in my neighborhood I would see them in the park, and they were doing like different type of exercises, but they weren't using any weights or anything. They were just, you know, using their natural body weight. So it really struck my interest in how strong they were just doing that. So I kind of watched those guys and then, you know, tried it myself, and I grew a love for it. And growing up, I also used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee movies. And when I studied like his form of training, that's the exact form of training Bruce Lee used to do. He used to just do a lot of calisthenics. He didn't do any weights. You know, it enhances your muscular development, your joints and everything. And Bruce Lee is an idol to me, because he was 5'6", 135 pounds, and he could, like, his strength was like limitless. He was amazing. So
there's a lot of stories out there about Bruce Lee, and every one of them that I find is truly inspiring, and like you said, truly amazing. The man was gifted beyond belief. He was good, to say the least.
And that was my goal, to be and get my body in the phenomenal shape that I saw he had his physique, and like the things that he would do would just amaze me. I actually thought it wasn't possible until I started training myself. And that's how I got started into fitness,
Interesting. Now, you mentioned that yourself and also Mr. Lee, you guys don't use any kind of free weights. Now, I'm bringing this up because, as you know, and most people out there, when they think of working out, they think of going to the gym and get on the bench press and doing that kind of stuff. And I actually got into a discussion with somebody, a friend of mine from back in college, through the internet one day. It wasn't heated or battled or anything like that. We're just going back and forth because, like you, I'm a firm believer of natural body weight as well. Now, I haven't taken it to the level that you have. For instance, if you're like at a level 10 with this stuff, I'm maybe at a 2. But his argument was that free weights are the best form of working out, period, end of discussion. And I didn't have the knowledge and the know-how to counter that. But in my heart, I truly believe that natural body weight is the best. So my question to you is, what is the obviously for you, natural body weight is the best as well. But what is the main difference between the natural body weight and free weights, and why is one better than the other?
All right. In my opinion, and from my experience, because I started out doing calisthenics, your basic calisthenics, until I've mastered my body weight to the point where I could control it how I wanted to control it. And I did use free weights, but the thing with free weights to me is, like, it puts on, depending on the amount of weight you're lifting or pushing or pulling, either way, it kind of, to me personally, it got boring only because no matter what exercise I did for whatever muscle group, I ended back up, back to the same thing where I started. For example, if I was working my chest, I would do a full chest routine. No matter what free weights or universal machine I would use, they target the same muscles, and I would go back to the beginning. If I would start off with a flat bench and do flies or do incline, decline, and no matter how I came back around, there was nothing different. Like I would have to come back to when I do my routine, I would always go with those same exercises, only because I didn't find it universal. Whereas with the calisthenics, after I mastered my body weight, I started touring and playing with a few different things. For example, if you look at some of my videos, you'll see that I do like freestanding handstand push-ups, which is not an easy exercise at all because you have to maintain balance along with the movement. And I noticed not only did it work my chest, that exercise, it helped my equilibrium, it worked my back muscles, it worked my shoulder muscles and my chest muscles. It helped develop muscles that I didn't even know that I had strength in. So doing calisthenics to me builds up the body better, faster, and it made me a lot stronger. I did weights when I first started working. I first got into fitness in 1996. I started with calisthenics. I started using free weights for maybe about all of 6 months before I actually kind of got bored with it. I mean, I wasn't doing heavy weights. It was just the nature of the exercises. And I didn't think, it developed my body, but I didn't think it did well for my body like the calisthenics did, because the calisthenics, like, built up my inner strength dramatically. It really built up my inner strength dramatically. It developed my muscles totally different than, the free weights did. Whereas the free weights gave me more like a bodybuilder type of physique. With the calisthenics, it just like enhanced my inner strength, and the nature, like the cuts that I got and the muscular development from the calisthenics is just amazing.
Interesting. Now, folks, because of my research, and I looked at videos of HIT and several folks that follow him, I saw videos, and they all look amazing. So what he's saying is not just from him; it's from other people that follow it as well. And now you brought up a couple of things there to what you were saying. You feel you say your strength. You have more strength than you doing this than you would if you were doing free weights. Now, and this is not a slam on free weights whatsoever, but from what I always see, and like you said, when you do free weights, somebody gets a bodybuilder type of body, if you will, with muscles bulging everywhere. Now, if that's the look you're going for, that's fine. But my question is all about strength. Now, do you personally feel you have more strength? So, for instance, if you go against somebody, obviously you can do more push-ups and pull-ups than the person that goes into a gym. But if somebody's going to challenge you to a bench press, first of all, would you do it? And second of all, do you feel that you have a lot more strength than what your body displays because of what you do?
Yes, I do. If someone challenges me to a bench press or any kind of free weight, exercise, whether it's a deadlift or a leg press, I would definitely accept. And I feel that my strength would be much more than theirs functionally, because that's what calisthenics focuses on. It focuses on body control and functional strength. Like, I mean, lifting weights does as well, but I think lifting weights is more for a look, and if you're lifting very heavy, it will help add strength, but not as much strength as your own body weight. Prime example is I've seen guys that can bench press 315 or 405 on a flat bench, but they can't do 15 or 10 consecutive pull-ups, full range of motion pull-ups, without being tired. And to me, that's like, there's no logic in that, you know. Whereas, furthermore, when I see these guys lifting, they're not lifting correct. They're lifting their back off the bench. They're bouncing the weight off their chest, whereas I have full control of the weight. And that's where calisthenics also helps you win with your strength, where you're able to control the weight that you're pushing or pulling. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
It's much more logical that I can actually weigh 180 pounds and do 20 pull-ups and also get on the bench and push 225 pounds, which is more than my body weight, in a proper form and proper range of motion. As opposed to
what you just said, and it hits home in so many ways, because one of the things that I do is I substitute teach at the local high school, and a lot of times I'm actually in the weight room substituting for the weight room coach, and because of my build, and if anybody has seen me, I'm a little bit bigger than the average guy. Now I'm nowhere near what you are, HIT, but I have a little bit of muscle on me, and so the kids are always challenging me to a bench press. Now, I don't bench. I haven't benched in probably 5 to 10 years. I do a lot of push-ups and things of that sort. Once again, not to your extreme, but I do mine. And when I was benching regularly back in the 90s, my max was 325 on the bench. Now, just last year at the high school, they challenged me to do some, and I was pushing up 335, which amazed me. And they couldn't believe when I told them I don't bench anymore. And I said it's all from push-ups and everything else. Now, from what you said about pull-ups, that's my Achilles heel. I might be able to get 5, 6, 7 at the most pull-ups. And for whatever reason, I'm just not able to do that. So my next question is going to go toward the pull-ups. How are you able to do? Obviously, you do it all the time. But when you have a new student or new trainee, like if I was coming to you that I'm not able to do a whole lot of pull-ups, what would you recommend that I do to increase that?
Well, I would say start off building your strength by doing assisted pull-ups.
Okay.
You know, there are many ways to do it. In most gyms, they have a machine that can help you, but I don't really like to direct people towards the machinery because it offers too much assistance. The goal is to actually master using your own body, weights resistant, on your own. So there's a specific way that I teach people, like an inverted pull-up from under a dip bar, which kind of looks like an upside-down push-up, but instead of pushing, you're actually pulling your chest up. And, you know, sort of that format to increase your strength. Also, there are light exercises you can do, like just hanging from the bar or doing a jump pull where you actually jump, grab the bar, pull yourself up, but on the way down, you come down as slow as you can to control it. It helps build up the strength in the negative so that way you're able to pull yourself in the positive.
Oh, wow. So I've never heard of somebody saying that do a reverse bench press, like you were saying, and it helps with the pull-ups. That in my mind, I understand exactly what you're doing, but it just doesn't make sense. But obviously it does because that's what you work on. But that's different. I like that. Wow. Now you keep also mentioning pull-up bars and things of that sort. Now all the videos I've seen of you you're mostly outside doing stuff on lack of a better term, playgrounds, monkey bars, and things of that sort. Obviously, it's more than that, but in my eyes, and I don't know the proper terminology for it, but where do you do these kind of routines that all these calisthenics that you talk about?
I do it in parks. If I go to a gym, I would do strictly, you just use the pull-up bar and dip machine and so on. But my whole goal is to show people that, you know, I'm not biased to going to the gym at all, but I'm trying to show people and teach people that you don't necessarily have to go to the gym to lift X amount of weights to get in great shape. You can do it anywhere. You can do it at your home, You can do it in a local park. You can do it in, your office or wherever. That's really my whole motive, to show people that you can get in great shape just by using your own body weight.
Well, I am so glad you say that, because with my site and my blog and everything else, when I write about things, I've been preaching that for the last couple of years. I said, if you cannot go to a gym or don't have access to a gym or just strictly don't want to, you can get in great shape if you put your mind to it by just doing stuff around the house. And now I finally found somebody who's a professional and obviously knows what he's talking about, saying the same thing. So thank you for saying that and vindicating me on that one. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Now, on your website, which is Calisthenics Kingz with a Z, .net, is it, or is it .com?
It's .net.
.net, calisthenicskingz.net. And I'll be linking to it from the interview series, fitnessedition.com as well. Don't worry about that, folks. But you talk about a 4D system. Can you explain what this 4D system is?
Yeah, my 4D system is drive, dedication, discipline, determination. Now, what I try to do is show people that the 4Ds you can apply to every aspect of your life. I use it based off of my, fitness, because a lot of people say, I'm not motivated, I don't have the drive to work out today or anymore or so on, and, they use it as far as dieting, like, I can't discipline myself because I like to eat, certain foods that I know are no good, they just taste good and so on. So I use that 4D system mainly for this fitness system, but you can apply it to any aspect of your life. It doesn't have to necessarily be just fitness, You have to be driven, dedicated, have discipline, and be determined to succeed and achieve your goals, whatever they are. So that's my 4D system.
I like that. And like you said, it can be applied to any aspect of your life, not just physical fitness. I like that. Right. Now, you mentioned several times as we were talking about nutrition. And that's something that a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong here, HIT, but a lot of people that start going to the gym and thinking that working out or lifting weights or doing calisthenics or whatever is the majority part of being fit. Now, my philosophy is the nutrition is probably the majority part of it, but I could be wrong there. So can you explain how important nutrition is and what kind of nutrition regimen you follow?
Yes, nutrition is very important, because no matter how much you go in the gym and work out and, or how much time you spend in the gym or whatever your fitness pleasure is, if you're not eating healthy foods that can accommodate, muscle development and the right nutrition for, your inner, meaning, not just your muscles, you need certain vitamins and minerals in your body. Like, if you're not attaining that, then it's like you're going to the gym and you're not making progress at all. You know what I mean? Nutrition is really a very important part. Eating healthy is a very important part. And I know that in my diet, the diet that I particularly follow is a high-protein, low-carb diet, mainly because I like the way it, along with my workout, gives me a great look, and it makes me feel great as well. It's not just about the way it looks, it's also about how it makes you feel, And I feel my diet is great. I do high protein, I do a lot of fish, chicken, a lot of vegetables, fruits and vegetables. I don't do pasta. I don't eat much rice. I very seldomly eat bread, but if I do, I'm doing whole wheat bread. I don't drink any sodas or anything like that. I drink a lot of natural fruit juices, like grapefruit, orange juice, and so on. So my diet is pretty clean, very clean diet. I'm not into sweets. I've never really, even growing up, I've never been into eating cakes and so on. Every now and then I'll have a slice of cake, but, I don't do sweets too often.
Okay. The high protein thing. Now, at first, I thought you were gonna talk about you being a strict vegetarian or a raw food or something like that sort. But I heard you mention fish and chicken and everything else. So you do eat, for lack of a better term, meat. Is that correct?
Right, but I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
I eat, fish and poultry, but I don't do like hamburgers or steak or anything like that.
Okay. Now, have you in the past?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay.
When I was younger, I did.
Okay. Now, you mentioned no pasta. When you say that to an Italian guy like myself, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can live without pasta. But then I look at your picture, I'm like, man, guys like that are inspiring to me. So maybe I have to put away the pasta sometime too.
Yeah, or you can supplement things. Like, for example, people tell me that, yeah, I eat pasta, man. I can't, I have to have my lasagna and so on. But it's you can supplement. Instead of doing regular pasta, you can do whole wheat pasta. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I do dairy as well, and I know most of the time with pasta, there's a lot of dairy, like cheese. I mean, almost with everything in pasta, there's cheese. But there's way of supplementing these things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that because the interviews that I do, I interview a wide variety of people in fitness and health. And the more I research, the more I'm looking into it. And you are exactly right. There are all kinds of ways to supplement things that you love. Like, for instance, if you love pasta like I do, and like you just mentioned, one of the ways is to use a different kind of pasta. But there's also all kinds of other ways. If you look hard enough, and going back to your 4 Ds, one of them is the determination. If you're determined enough, you will find a substitute for what you like.
Right.
Now, speaking of food and all that stuff, you mentioned earlier, and I wrote this down as we were talking, you said you mastered my body weight. Can you get into more detail what you mean by that?
Yes, I've mastered my body weight, like, to the point where I feel like I can control it how I want, when I want. For example, like, some of the things I do, when I started out, again, they were basic, just your basic, pull up, chin up, push-ups, and so on. But then, once I've mastered that, I started to challenge myself, and test doing certain things. Like, for example, my freestanding handstand push-up. Like, just obtaining the balance for that was a challenge, because we normally walk on our hands and walk on our feet and stand on our feet, and I wanted to do the opposite, the opposed. Walk on my hands and stand on my hands and balance. So even that was a challenge. Once I developed that, I went into actually moving, doing push-ups in that movement, which was also a challenge, learning, all this stuff I taught myself. So I feel like I've mastered it to a point where I can do anything. Like, even on a pull-up bar, if you look at my videos, you'll see things that you've probably never seen or you don't normally see a person doing on a pull-up bar, which are actually functional exercises for myself, because I've practiced and taught myself how to do these things. So in that aspect, I've mastered even on top of the pull-up bar, I can actually go up there and do a handstand and do freestanding handstand push-ups on top of the pull-up bar, as you see in some of my videos.
Now, so, I can attest, folks, that when he says you probably haven't seen it, or you also said it. Maybe you have, but they're very rare, very rare. I can probably tell you that 99% of the population out there has never seen the stuff that you do. Because I'm in utter awe as I was watching these videos of the different things that you do. And the first thing that came to my mind, and I'm sure you get this all the time, and I think I know the answer to this just because of what you just said, but do you have any kind of gymnastics background?
No, I do not. But, however, a lot of people think I do have a gymnastic background, because the way they see the things that I do, my form is so accurate and immaculate, they think that, this guy had to be a former gymnast. But I've never done gymnastics. I can't even do, backflips and things of that nature.
When you folks, and I'm sure if you haven't gone already, you're going to try look at some of his videos, and plus he has several DVDs that are not just showing his amazing talents and everything else, but they're I would assume you have instructional DVDs up there as well. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I do have instructional DVDs as well. I have actually a few DVDs that are actual programs that people can do outside of all the amazing stuff that I do. And I also have DVDs that are, they'll see me doing amazing stuff. Some of the stuff most of it is not even on my YouTube page, that are on my DVDs. But for the most part, for the average person who wants to learn how to get into, calisthenics and controlling and mastering their own body weight and get in shape from just doing that, I do have program DVDs as well.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that in just a little bit, but they are out there, folks, and he doesn't just do it; he teaches it, and he's walking, living proof that what he does and what he shows and what he, lack of a better term, preaches, it works. If you want to get your body in ridiculous shape like his, unbelievable, and you can see that from the profile picture that we have up on this. But if you don't mind, I still have a few more questions to ask you about some of this stuff. One of the videos that I watched, and I might be put myself in a bind here, but I want to ask you about this. You mentioned that your program is a 30-day program, and you also mentioned that there are 60-day programs and 90-day programs out there, which you politely and respectfully didn't mention their names, which I applaud you for that. I don't like to get into a whole lot of things about other products and everything else. But I need to be transparent and upfront with everybody I talk to. And anybody that's watched my stuff knows that I'm a huge fan of the P90X program. Absolutely love it to death. But I can see from yours, you are way more intense and way more defined, if you will, with your program. So you being a certified trainer and into fitness and everything else, I'm sure you've ran into others that do that kind of program. Can you tell me what the main difference between yours and the 60-day and 90-day programs are?
Okay, the difference between our programs is, one, mine definitely doesn't use any equipment at all. That's the first thing. The next thing is that mine, I believe, is more intense. Now, I've done these programs as well, and I'm not taking anything away. They're great programs. However, mine is more intense in the fact where you're using your natural body weight. But the beauty of this is you can do it at home, and you don't even need a pull-up bar or anything to do any of the exercises in my 30-day program. Now, what I've did is I've studied these programs. I've also used my 30-day program on my clients, and the results that they've achieved in just 30 days, along with the dieting, is phenomenal. It's amazing.
Interesting.
And so, again, I'm not taking anything from these programs. They're great programs. It's just I believe that, you don't have to use any equipment with mine at all. And the intensity level and the nature of the exercises, to me, I think mine's really push people to the peak.
Well, from what I have seen, I'd have to agree with you on that. Excuse me. Now, I personally haven't tried any of your stuff yet. I'm sure that's going to be in my repertoire in the near future. But when you say it's more intense, I truly believe it is, just from what what little I've seen you do and everything else. One of the things you just said struck out at me. You say you use no equipment, or your program doesn't require any equipment, which I understand. So you also said no, you don't really need a pull-up bar. So how are you doing your pull-up stuff, with lack of a better term, without a pull-up bar?
That's the beauty. I have certain exercises that actually develop the muscles to help you do pull-ups without doing pull-ups.
Ah, okay. See, that's one of the things that, and I think I read that somewhere else that you said or quoted or wrote somewhere, and that puzzled me. But I understand. Okay, all right. That's some stuff that obviously we don't want to get into your trade secret at this point. That's part of the reason we have DVDs and instructional stuff, of course. Now, you have been interviewed by several of the New York news outlets over there, and I've seen a few of them that you graciously sent me videos to and everything else, which was cool. One of the and I wrote this down because I said I got specifically asked you about this one. One of the push-ups or handstands that you do has a certain name to it. I think they said was it called a scorpion?
Oh, yeah, I have a scorpion push-up. Now, people know the scorpion push-up as a actual push-up where you kick one leg behind you over your back. But my version of it is kind of you're airborne and your feet are actually arched over your head like a scorpion's tail.
Wow.
And that push-up it's like, I believe it develops the muscles in your whole upper body because you feel it everywhere. You feel it in your forearms, your bicep, your tricep, your back, your core, just stabilizing yourself with the movement of your feet being arched over your head like a scorpion tail. When you physically see the push-up, you automatically know that's a scorpion push-up, Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's why I decided to give that particular push-up the name the scorpion push-up.
Wow. Now, folks, if you want to visualize this from what when I first saw it, before I heard the word scorpion, I'm like, man, he looks like a big letter C, because this the way his body is arched, and we're talking arched where his legs are actually going. It's like the reverse of how your body bends. Okay, if you want to look at it that way, and while he's doing a push-up, it's absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal. And through your videos and your instructional programs, I would assume that you teach people not really how to do that, but how to get in the position where they can do that if they so choose, right?
Well, on my Power from Push-Ups DVD, because I've been getting so many requests on people wanting to learn how to do, basic handstands, how to do handstand push-ups. I also have another push-up called the Tiger Bend push-up. I've been getting a lot of requests for that. So what I did is I put full-length tutorials, step by step, and I explain how I learned and taught myself to do these things. And I actually show you how to learn and, do these things as well. Because a lot of people who look at my stuff are into CrossFit. And if you know a little bit about CrossFit, it's like using, explosive calisthenic movements along with free weights. They do a lot of plyometrics, so they do a lot of handstand walking and so on. And a lot of people are getting into that type of fitness. Now, a lot of people are overall getting into bodyweight fitness in general. Like, people are trying to step it up, like they want a different feel of fitness as opposed to just going to the gym and doing the exercises or the machines at the gym. So on my Power from Push-Ups DVD, I actually teach those type of push-ups.
Okay. Now, while we're on it right now, and I have more questions coming for you coming up and everything else, but tell people where they can access your products, your DVDs, and which is if somebody is brand new to your kind of working out and your kind of fitness, can you tell them which DVD would you recommend they purchase?
Okay, you can get all my DVDs through my website at Calisthenics Kingz, Kingz being spelled with a Z.net. And if you're a beginner and you would like to learn how to do, basic calisthenic exercises, my Bootcamp Basics Calisthenic Instructional DVD would be great. It would be the best choice because we teach from a very beginner level, from assisted pull-ups, assisted push-ups, all the way up to the advanced version where you're doing something called muscle-ups. So we go through the whole thing, and we teach exercises basic to advanced as far as just using your natural body weight for your upper body and lower body, functional stretching for these exercises. We have a whole video dieting section that, gets into eating the right foods. It has sample diets you can follow as well. So I would say Bootcamp Basics is the best DVD for you to get if you're trying to learn how to, use and master your own body weight.
Mm-hmm. And you said part of that DVD has the nutrition stuff in it as well?
Yeah, it has a whole dieting and nutrition section. We get into facts about, eating healthy and, sleeping and how food benefits you while you're asleep and so on. And we have sample diets that you can follow as well.
That's different because you don't usually see that kind of stuff on a DVD. At least I haven't. There's packets that come with certain DVDs that say follow my nutrition guide and things of that sort. But and the actual inside the DVD where you can watch on your television now, you don't really see a whole lot of that stuff. You also have a program out here, and I got to ask you about this because I'm just so envious when I see this, is this Killer Abs program. Can you tell us a little about your Killer Abs program?
Okay, my Killer Abs program is another, program you can do at home, or you can do it anywhere. I have clients who actually, take their laptops, and when they go to the gym, they'll go in like the aerobic room and they'll play the DVD and follow it, because it's that kind of program where you can just pop it in and follow me. And what it does, it focuses on your whole core area, mainly the abdominals, building them. Again, I've heard this saying that abs are not made in the gym, abs are made in the kitchen. I can't necessarily say that I agree with it 100%. But, I mean, if that were the case, then you wouldn't have to exercise to develop the abdominal muscles to pop out. You would just have to eat right, which is, no matter how healthy you eat, if you didn't do any exercises, and even if you had great genetics, you wouldn't just see the ab muscles just like that. You have to exercise in order for the muscle to develop a certain way. So I can't say that I do agree with it, but my Killer Abs program, the exercises in part one, because I have actually two Killer Abs, part one and part two. Of course, part two is more intense than part one, but it definitely gets the job done. These are cardio-driven abdominal exercises. So that means that the exercises are not just made to develop the ab muscle, but to burn calories and body fat as well while you're doing them.
Okay. Now, I would assume, just because of the way you described it, Killer Abs 1 and Killer Abs 2, that if somebody's gonna go and purchase your stuff for the first time, they should go with the Killer Abs, the first one, and then progress to the second one.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And the reason why I named the Killer Abs is because the routine, they're intense, and you definitely feel a burn. But it's not a bad burn. It's a good burn. It's like that feeling when you go into the gym, you've worked out hard, and then you feel it during the exercise, and even after the exercise, you feel like your muscles are already developed. That's the kind of feeling you're going to get.
Good. And all this can be found at calisthenicskingz.net. And I'll also have a link to it from my site, and you guys know how that works. It's not a problem there. You also have a program up here, it says Chiseled in 30. And is that your newest program?
Yes, it is. That's my newest program. That's the program that I've designed. It's a full body conditioning program. It's no matter where you're at, if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced fitness enthusiast, I believe my 30-day program is going to push you and make you feel like you've never felt before.
Wow.
The workout is intense. The workout is great. It makes you sweat. It works all the muscles throughout the body. It's a great program. I actually still continue to do the program myself, and even when I do it now at this point at my level of fitness, it still gives me a great burn and a great feeling when I work out.
Now, once again, and sorry for me asking this, but is this program designed so you do not need equipment if you don't have it?
Yes, this program is designed to just use your natural body weight. You don't need any equipment. And the other thing is, the program has two phases, so it's a double disc. Phase 1 is for 15 days. Phase 2 is also 15 days, giving you a total of 30 days. But what I've designed is two separate diet programs. For people who want to lose weight and body fat reduction, in Phase 1, the exercises focus on doing that as well as the dieting. And for Phase 2, of course, which is more intense, the exercises are much more intense. They focus on building lean, toned muscle mass, and so does the diet. The diet for Phase 2 does the same thing. So it's two separate diets for each phase, whereas, most programs only have one diet regimen that you follow, one full diet regimen you follow for that program. I set up two separate diet programs to follow each disc.
Okay. Now, and the Chiseled in 30, and apropos, it's from what I'm reading here on the website, it's a $30 program for the two DVDs. Is that correct?
Okay. Here's the thing. Right now, it's available for pre-order. So what I'm doing is at the pre-order rate, that's the price I'm giving at the pre-order. Now, once it comes out of pre-order, it's going to cost a little more.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is giving people an opportunity to reserve it and purchase it at that pre-order rate right now.
Okay. So let's make sure we understand that, because as people are listening to this, they might be listening to this 3 or 4 months after it's already up, because of the way my system or my program or my website, my business is designed. So if you want to know the actual price of the DVD, please make sure you go to calisthenicskingz.net and look at the price. As of right now, as of the date of this recording, there's a pre-order special of $30, but it will be going up. So if you're listening to this right away when the recording is up, please get out there and get your pre-order. So if somebody pre-orders it today, let's say,
right,
how long before they would get the actual program?
Well, we're going to start shipping out the beginning of next week. So we're giving people an opportunity to purchase it at the pre-order rate. This is actually the second week, and after this week is done, the pre-order rate will be done.
Okay.
So beginning of next week is when we're going to start shipping them out.
Okay.
So
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. Let's do it this way so everyone could be on the same page and there's no confusion. Email me or email HIT at his website. Tell him you heard this program through the interview series, and whenever you send him the email, obviously he'll know the date that he heard it, so that way he can judge whether it should be on the pre-order or not. So is that fair for you, HIT?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
I want to make sure that you don't get the you make sure you get the fair price for everything, and I don't want anybody to that has the pre-order capabilities to not get that as well. So that is awesome. I mean, that's for $30, folks. You're going to get one of the top trainers and one of the top educated people when it comes to all this fitness stuff in the world, in my opinion, giving you what it needs to be done. That's a great buy. All right, HIT, I got a couple more questions for you if you got a few more minutes.
Sure, no problem. I do want to say one thing.
Sure.
Like, as far as personal training, because by profession I am a personal trainer. I've been in the fitness industry since 1998, 99. I've been certified, and I've been training clients since then. Sometimes people see my stuff and they want to hire me as a trainer, but they tend to kind of shy away only because they feel like this is the form of training they're going to get. I want people to understand that I do have clients that I train in the gym that use free weights, that use machinery, and I don't have a problem. I train those clients because I train them according to their fitness goals that they want to achieve. And by profession, I am a personal trainer. So I don't want people to get confused thinking that if they sign up with me, the only thing I train is in natural body weight exercises, and, they feel like they're not ready for that level of fitness yet. So please don't be discouraged. Contact me if you're interested in personal training. If you're in the New York area, I do have clients that I train using machinery, free weights. I have different programs that I actually design myself to meet my clients' means, to help them achieve their fitness goals.
Okay. Well, thank you for saying that, because I'm sure that clarified a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Good. Appreciate you saying that. And he's right, folks. A personal trainer is just that. It's a personal trainer. They will work with you for your goals, whatever those goals are. And if you find a personal trainer that says, no, you got to do it, I'm going to teach you to do it this way, or I want you to do it this way, and don't go towards your goals, maybe you should consider using a different personal trainer. One of those kind of things. Because they should always ask you what your goals are, and they fit the program to match what your goals are. Simple as that.
Right.
So your programs, and I'm going to go back to this chiseled in 30, because that's what we're talking about a little bit else right now. How much time per day is required to do this program? And believe it or not, I asked that because when people talk to me about working out and fitness and everything else, one of the main questions, and I don't know why this comes up, but they always ask, well, how long per day, or how much time per day do you work out or exercise, or whatever the case would be?
Well, my Chiseled in 30 program, phase 1 is actually about 56 minutes long, to be exact.
Per day?
Per day.
Oh, wow.
And you would do it, the program would be 5 times a week consecutive, meaning if you're doing a Monday through Friday or a Tuesday through Saturday, it would be, days back to back. You rest 2 days. However, the dieting aspect of it is 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, meaning even on your days off, I have a diet plan set up with foods that you would eat, the meals that you would eat, and they're labeled so there's no confusion, meal 1, meal 2, snack, meal 3, meal 4, so on throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So even on your days off, my dieting plan accommodates you.
Okay. And another question, 6 minutes a day. So basically it's an hour a day. So, wow. I mean, folks, if once you see the picture of HIT, you'll know what I'm talking about when I keep saying wow, because it looks like he is constantly, I have to do something, 26 hours a day to get in the shape that this gentleman is in. It's unbelievable. So when you tell me, basically an hour a day, it's almost mind-boggling. But I actually believe it. If you do your 4D program.
Right, that's what I was going to say. The first thing you think of when you think of, all right, I have to do this 5 times a day, refer back to the 4D system: drive, dedication, discipline, and determination.
Mm-hmm. So all you folks out there that want to get in shape but are sitting on the TV watching Survivor, that's usually an hour or 2 hours. You say, you know what? I could have been working out and getting in top physical shape instead of watching these guys on an island voting each other off or something of that sort. One of the things I also see you do quite a bit is jump rope. Now, and I bring this up not because it doesn't seem right, but it's so out of the ordinary. You don't see too many people jumping rope. Now, I'm going to assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that your jumping rope is a warm-up, but I'm also going to assume that's more to it than that. So can you explain the jumping rope process in your workouts?
Yes, the jumping rope is much more than a workout. Jumping rope actually, to me, is one of the best, if not the best, it's one of the best cardios for your body, because it's not actually only cardio, it actually works all the muscles throughout the body. I mean, if you even try just jumping rope for 2 to 3 minutes nonstop, you would get an idea of what I'm saying. You're working your arms, your shoulders, your core, your legs, and then it's bringing up your heart rate, working your vascular system as well. So I believe jumping rope is a full body conditioning in itself.
Okay.
And it's, to me, one of the best cardios. Whereas when you get on the treadmill, you're doing speed walking or jogging, or if you're doing a step machine, I don't think you're working as many muscles throughout the body as you are while you're jumping rope. So, and it's an easy exercise. It's a very easy exercise to learn. But I believe it's one of the best cardio exercises for your overall body.
Wow. I mean, you just open up a whole other list of questions. I know we don't have the time for it, but okay. So how did you figure this out with jumping rope? Once again, you and I being guys, it's not like we wake up every morning wanting to jump rope. I mean, now with your routine, of course you do, but before that, guys don't usually think about going out and jumping rope, do they?
Well, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I actually, where I started jumping rope is, as a fitness enthusiast, like, you want to, how I've always thought of it is I've always wanted to challenge myself to doing a fitness program or something different that I haven't done. So that way, if I can master this program or I can master this form or type of fitness, then I can really call myself a fitness enthusiast, and it's not hurting me. It's only helping me enhance not only how I look, but how I feel as well,
Okay.
So, like, jumping rope started for me when I was younger. I used to do a little bit of boxing, and even now today, sometimes when I get up, I say, I don't want to jump rope today. I just can't. But I give myself that push, and the feeling I get from it is nothing like when I go jogging. I know when I go jogging, I work my legs, my cardio, I'm building up my endurance and so on. But with jumping rope, it's like turning that rope plays a toll after a certain amount of time, not just, again, on your legs or your vascular, on your arms. You feel it. You actually feel it in your shoulders. You feel it in your biceps. And if you test what I'm saying, you'll see that it's not an easy exercise, but it's a beneficial because it's full body conditioning.
Wow. I never thought about that for jumping rope, but wow, that's great. That's great. Well, HIT, I tell you what, my time's about up with you right now. Is there any parting words you would like to say for the people listening right now?
Well, I mean, again, I would like for people to try my program, check out my stuff, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to try something different, see how it works for you. I'm sure you'll love it. I definitely know my programs will help you achieve the results that you're looking for. I want to thank all the people out there who actually do follow my stuff and have achieved results from my workouts, and feel free to ask me anything you want to ask me. You can send me questions through my website. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube as well, and just thanks for all the support that I've been getting thus far.
Well, thank you for your time and everything else. And folks, if you're listening to this as you're in your car or something, and you didn't write down the calisthenicskingz.net, and that's with the Z, you can always go to my site, the interview series, fitnessedition.com. You know how to get there, and I'll link over to it. It's not a problem. If you do, and when you do, I should say, go and order one of his products, especially the Chiseled in 30. Get the pre-order special now. Make sure you send him an email saying, hey, you heard him over here with me of the interview series, and we'll go from there. Well, HIT, I do appreciate it. Thank you for being my guest on this episode. And I'm sure that you and I, hopefully, I can keep in touch with you, and maybe in the future we can schedule something else and talk again, because I'm sure we're going to get questions, and I have a lot more questions coming in that I can ask you about this kind of stuff. Definitely.
I actually want to thank you, Andrew, for giving me the opportunity to be on your fitness series. I look forward to, definitely connecting more and with you, and I'm going to probably be coming out that way. Maybe we could definitely do it, definitely meet in person and definitely do this again. I look forward to it.
Oh, that would be great. Awesome. All right, thank you. Folks, and stay tuned. You know how the system works with the program and everything else. Stick around and always follow what we have going on, and we'll see you in another time. So this is Andrew from the interview series. Ciao.